Obviously he's out with his hamstring. We're not quite sure how long he's out for, but he's out anyway, which was a major blow for us because of how well he was playing. And that's what you get. That's my point about having, when you take loan players, you're getting loan players for a reason at times as well. They don't play much football at their own clubs, and we're asking them to sometimes go and play 3 games in a week, which is really, really hard going. And you can through all our lads like that. A lot of them are like that, where they've came at a time where we're trying to get them up to speed as well. So that's football at times, but it's not an ideal scenario. Definitely a blow because he was playing really, really well for us. But time-wise, I'm not so sure.
Could it be as long as 6 weeks? That's what Mick McCarthy suggested.
Do you know, I don't know. I really don't. How long a hamstring's going to take, I've got a rough idea, but it depends on how severe it is. Some guys can recover quick, some guys take longer. It all depends on his recovery of it. So hopefully, a bit of luck, he's back sooner rather than later. The great thing is he's got a national break coming up, and he's got a game against Hull which he can't play anyway. So that'll give us some sort of respite.
Any frustration that McCarthy went public with the information?
I don't think she'd been out there anyway with it. Mick's probably just got asked a question with it and maybe just saw what he'd hurt his hamstring. So there's no blame attached to Mick McCarthy at all, none whatsoever. And he probably got asked a question about, well, and probably had a stab at it, or by just on his own experience. But I've got no blame attached to Mick whatsoever.
How's Ellis Harrison? Striker short on the ground at the minute.
Ellis he's doing okay. His hamstring's getting better. He had the virus, which I said was going around the last couple of days, but he's back in this morning. The game's still too early for him. So
might you look at the free agent market? I asked the question when Freddie went out a couple of weeks ago. You now even one striker down beyond that.
Well, listen, we're definitely short in that area, but I think if you're out of contract in tomorrow's March, then there's something seriously wrong with you. And it's a dangerous thing to go into that market again. We can't keep on paying money out. That's my situation with loans. It's free transfers. One, they're no fit. Why they out there anyway at this time of the season? Doesn't add up.
No thoughts of calling up a kid that maybe we haven't seen before? I know you haven't got a Falami or a Morris, even a Kai Brown or somebody who's back up on the bench.
There's no strikers. The 2 kids are injured, and long term, it's a horrendous injury list. What we've got, and obviously Caden's there. Forward players, Guion is there, Caden's there. So there's still 1 or 2 there that I can look at. So it's not something that's a major concern unless anything happened to the other ones.
What about James Collins? He's missed a few games now.
He's doing okay at the minute. We'll see how he is come Saturday. I'll maybe need to change certain things from last week due to Jonas's situation, and might need to look at changing the system depending on personnel and who we've got fit.
Callum Elder, without Will Keane in the squad, you can call upon another lone player. Do Leicester understand the situation with him because he's not had a sniff of late?
No, he's injured.
Oh, he's not around.
No, he's injured.
Another one.
Yeah, that's Callum's was was in a tackle, but he's getting better. But he's out. But again, as I said before, any lone player you do get, you're getting them whether they need games or they're not featuring for their clubs. As I said before, I think Quainer had, in about 6-7 months, had played less than an hour. And you're trying to get them up to speed, and you're trying to throw them into 3 games in a week, and that's what's happened with them all. And but it's not an ideal situation. That.
Do you think Colin can get you the goals, though, in the absence of Will, who clearly has come in and hit the ground running? He's got 3 goals. Can Colin break his duck and get on a run?
Oh, I've got no doubt. He's a lovely finisher when you watch him in training. Great finisher, lovely touch. And his run for the goal on Saturday was excellent. The run, I thought it was a great ball by Nolan, a great run from Colin. So he'll definitely score goals. Colin just needs that one to go in, and then hopefully we'll take off.
Got a time scale or a game in mind for Jack Lancaster?
No, he's still got to see his specialist. I think next, early March, just to see how he's getting on. So we can't rush that one. That's a dangerous, a precarious one in his back, stress fracture in his back. So, but hopefully Jack will be back for the end of the season. But you can't rush that.
Would you go with 3 at the back again? Happy what you saw from that first 25 minutes or so last week?
I'll need to look at the system again because obviously Jonas is out. We'll see how James is. So the likelihood is I probably won't do it. So but I have to look.
But in the future, you think that system could work with this squad once everybody's fit and flying?
We're running out of games in that scenario. That's why I always say you need a pre-season to set out what way you want to play. We played it last week because it suited the personnel that we done it. Maybe need to change back, take this to something different this weekend. But we'll see.
How pleased have you been with John Nolan? Bit of an unsung hero of late. He's been playing well.
Very good. I think Nolan. I like the way Nolan plays the game. He's unassuming. I'd love him to be more assertive because I think he's got that in his game. I think he's got great energy from a midfielder. I think he makes great runs as well, Nolan. So again, a young lad's only been here one season and felt the effects of everything like everybody else. But his performance, you're right, I think is very, very good.
Because players do need time to adapt, don't they? To a new club, a new division.
But honestly, without a doubt, some guys can hit the ground running right away. And some guys, it might take them a year or so to find their feet. I played with guys that have done it both ways, that took time, and I played with guys that hit the ground running straight away. So you just have to be patient with them, and then and hopefully everybody sees the beneficial of it. If they don't hit the ground running, they see it in the second season.
So maybe too soon to judge any of the boys that arrived last summer because it's clearly been a difficult few months.
Listen, it's difficult. Difficult season for them coming in. But I guarantee if you ask them all what they expected, I'm pretty sure they never expected this. But it happens, and you fall into, I said before, you sleepwalk into things if you're not careful, and I think that's what's happened to the club.
How do you see this game against Reading? A real 6-pointer on Saturday.
Well, if we win, it'll be great. It pulls everybody right back into the mire. The pleasing thing going into the game is we're playing well, so I don't have a problem how we're playing. Sometimes you get into the games where it's everybody's frightened to take the ball, and there's an apprehension in the stadium. The crowd are coming on Saturday, and it'll be absolutely jumping again. The atmosphere's right behind us, and it's, as I said before, over 20,000 people there. It's going to be one hell of an atmosphere, and everybody's coming really vibrant, and we'll try everything we can to win.
Do you talk to the boys about handling the pressure, or do you almost try to play it down?
They played with pressure for all season. They played the pressure at being at the bottom of the table most of the season. So, but it doesn't show. That's the beauty about them. It doesn't. Normally, we get a team at the bottom and it's marooned and it's only long ball and kick and rush football. We certainly don't do that. We try and play football. And to be fair, they've been brilliant at it. They've been brave on the ball when they've had to. And the last 3 games, we should have at least took 7 points out of 9, in my opinion.
Do you have to adapt the approach without Will Keane at all this week?
No, we'll still play the same way. We'll still try and, the system might change, but we'll still try and play the level we play.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Can Colin Quainer and Caden Jackson work as a duo?
Yeah, I mean, the two of them have done it at certain times. They play together in training a lot as well, and it just depends on who I think goes up there. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gwion Edwards earlier. He's someone that he's had an injury during your time here, but he started the season so well. He was one of the recruits that did hit the ground running and maybe faded a little bit, but he's had a couple of bright little characters off the bench in the last 2 games.
No, he has. I thought he'd done really well the other day, last Saturday. I thought he'd done well. He's training really well, Gwion. So I've got no problem with him. The injury did keep him out for a few weeks, but I think he's looking probably like his old self. I think, and so no, I'm glad that he's back and in the frame.
How do you look back on that game at Reading? Your second game in charge, played really well there. Got a couple of early goals. It's another one that stung not to get the 3 points that day, didn't it?
I thought I thought we should have been 3 up at half time. I don't think if we'd walked out of that stadium with a win, I don't think anybody would have questioned it. I thought we were excellent for most of that game. We lost 2 poor goals at that time, but performance-wise was really, really high. But should have took more.
Do you look back? You mentioned there last week you felt you should have got 7 points from 9. Do you look back on several games
Yeah.
now in terms of the
Great game, but if you keep doing what you're doing, you ultimately get your reward for it. So as long as we don't go away from what we're doing.
How long did it take you to get over the late goal last weekend? Does it take you a little while to get that out of your system as a manager? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it was a body blow. We done the same to Stoke the previous week, so it's how you bounce back. But the way we started the game, the way we started to play, and we looked really, really good from there. The goal was an absolute blow, because we never done well enough to defend it, and we ended up losing the goal. So yeah, it wasn't a good Saturday or Sunday. Put it that way.
You highlighted Flynn Downs for not stopping the cross post-match. Is that something that you felt that he could take that sort of public criticism on his shoulders? That's going to be something that brings more out of him going forwards?
Well, I think Flynn Downs is going to be a really, really top player. I really do. And I think top players can take the criticism and crack on with it. I think he's certainly one of the kids that can definitely deal with it. I think if you want to get to top level football, you have to be prepared to feel criticism at certain times. If you go with kid gloves on, you think it's acceptable. Well, it's not. It's not acceptable to allow a cross coming in, and if you try your utmost and it comes off your foot and it goes in, and you've tried everything you can. I think where Flynn probably just lost it, he never really affected the ball, either or. He matched the guy running, but never really affected the ball. But I think Downs is going to be. He's been brilliant for me since I've been here. He's been absolutely great. I think I can count in one hand really the amount of mistakes he's had, the kid. But I think to get any of the top level in your performance, and you want to win things, and you want to drive it, and you want to be ambitious, you've got to have a little nasty streak in your game. All the top players have it. All top players have it. All top teams have it. And I know he can be a top player if he gets that little bit of nasty streak in it, which I think he's got in it. It's just doing it week in, week out. Which that will come, because he's only a 19-year-old kid. But I think he's going to be. I think Downs is definitely going to be a real top player.
Yeah, that comes from a place of, as a manager, I guess you've worked with a lot of young players now, and you know when they're ready to take that, and when they're not, you know their personalities and their characters, and you've seen that in Flynn, that you're ready to push him to the next level now.
Yeah, I think you've got to push them to the limits. Young players, I really do. I think I would never have had a career, and I had without managers at certain times on my tail all the time. Even in Borussia Dortmund, at the highest level, when I had my highest point, I'd always had a manager that was always on you to perform. And I don't like people underachieving, because I think it's important for me to get the best out of the younger ones and the older ones. You have to, and I think that's why the crowd appreciate everything that's going on, because you see the lads giving everything that they've got, and I can't ask for any more. As I said to some of the lads, you can't play the game without enthusiasm, regardless how talented you are. If you don't have an enthusiasm for the game or a hunger for the game, it doesn't matter how much talent is in your body. If you're not willing to match that, it doesn't work. As long as you've got that drive and that hunger to perform, you won't go far wrong. And I think Flynn's example was, I know there's a really, really good player there, really good. It could be an exceptional player, and I'll never take the little devilment that's outside his game, but it's every week. It's not just a one game, two game. You have to do it and he's only 19, so he's got 15 years in the game. It's every single week you have to perform, training and playing. There's no respite for it, and that's what you have to get inside their heads.
I was just going to ask you about, you said potentially the personnel won't suit the back three this weekend. Is that because three with Jones being unavailable, because there are other defensive options, but you want that balance in a back three, is that?
There's one or two little knocks we've got as well, and that we'll see tomorrow how they're going to be, and then I'll decide tomorrow what we'll do.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
In terms of that system, then, was that system one that you saw for the Wigan game specifically, rather than one that you feel is one that you would use going forward, regardless of the suspension?
I just thought with the personnel that it could work. And I think that's the important thing. The players make the system. The system don't make the players. The players make the system work. And I just thought at that time that was our best route with it. And I had one or two little other ideas in my head to do it, and I just thought it could have worked. And up until Jonas got sent off, we looked as if we could have been 2 or 3 up, and if we took our chances. So yeah, sending off changes again.
Has anything been said about Jonas sending off? Do you ever work with a player like that?
Yeah, no, I spoke to him after it and said, listen, from where I was sitting, it looked like a red card. Whether Luke was on the cover, it was hard for me to see that. But if it was up the other end, would I claim for probably a red card? Yeah, probably I would have done with it. So did the referee get right? Yeah, probably did. Yeah.
Bish, he was in the 18 last week, but that's because he'd been ill.
He was ill. It was bizarre. He had sickness and diarrhoea. Like I said to you before, there was a bug going around still there, because Ellis has had it, James Collins has had it, Trevor's had it. So the lads were going away from training, and all of a sudden the physio would tell you they can't come in because they've been sick and diarrhoea. Bishop was the other one that had it the other week, and he came in on Friday and trained, but I just thought he didn't look that great, even though he trained a little bit, but he still felt dizzy, which gave me a sign of, if you're dizzy when you're playing a 5v2 in a box, and to ask you to go and play in a game is going to be too much for you. Because he'd have played, because he'd been playing excellent for us in the last few games. But he's back fit and he's back training, so he'll come into my thinking.
It's getting easy for you to tell us who's available rather than who's not available at the moment, isn't it? There's so many players that.
There's a lot, but the club's got a lot of long-term injuries. Freddie's surgery went well. Wardy's went well. Tom Adami's been out for a long time. Hughes has been out for a long time. Young kids, Falami and Morris, they're all long terms. They're not just 3-4 weeks. They're actually long. I've never known it for players to be 15 months out. I mean, that's incredible, absolutely incredible. So, but as at the minute, we have to get through it. I like to we're trying to get the loan lads up to speed. It's a big ask for them, because you don't have them pre-season, you don't have them fully fit, and you're taking players, as I said before, you're taking players from other teams that either the clubs want them to go and play games because they're not getting games at their own clubs, or they're being injured, and you're trying to get them up to speed. And I think that's probably why Will is probably hurt his hamstring as well, which is a blow, because he's playing really well.
Is it something you can? I remember talking to Mick this time last year, and him saying about the number of injuries there've been. It was something that perhaps ought to be looked at, really, whether there's something to do with training or something like that that's happened over the season. So many players have picked up sort of similar injuries, really, haven't they? A lot of them.
Well, I don't know, because I've only been here 3 months, so I think the injuries well, Amir's obviously hurt himself before we came in. Tom Adami's hurt himself before we came in with it. John Walters obviously is Achilles. John's Achilles. Will's hamstring. Will's hamstring's the only real one that's really kind of pulled up. But I don't know what Will done in pre-season. I don't know what he's done prior to coming with us. We can only see in a short space of time, but we don't have time. We have to try and let the guys hit the ground running. We don't have time to wait. We have to throw them in and get them fit when they play in their games. That's the downside. That's why you need a pre-season, and that's why you have to, as I said before, try and stop loans coming into your club. If you don't have loan players, all these situations don't happen.
And Kane Jackson, he's played lots of lone striker. I think down the middle. Do you think playing in a front two probably suits him more, the way that he plays?
It possibly could. I mean, but it doesn't matter if you're playing a two or not. Or you're playing as a one. Your runs are still the same. Your hold up play should still be the same. I think Caden's done well in certain games and needed help in certain other games. So, but I've got no downside on Caden at all. It's just I pick a team that I think can go and win a game for us. And Colin and Will, I think we're playing really, really well together.
Brenner mentioned Kai Brown. I've got a bit of a dearth of young players coming through because obviously there's so many of the strikers are injured. Have you got players in the seniors who you feel can adapt to playing as a striker should you need them at some stage?
Well, they're going to have to at certain times, yeah. They're going to have to. So there's no point in trying to dress it up. You're going to have to do it. And I think that's at certain times important. I think you're at the stage of the season now where it's not about systems, it's what's in your own stomach as well. It's how far you want to go and how far you want to work and how far you want to try and achieve something. So that's for me as important as you have to have the enthusiasm for the game regardless where you're playing. And at the minute, I think the lads, since I've been to the club, lads have given us everything. There's no one game really I've came away thinking, Accrington, yeah, definitely, but most of the games I've come away thinking, no, do you know what, we gave it a right good go.
So who has been kind of training as a striker then, as an emergency striker?
I'm not going to tell you that.
I thought you might not.
No, I'm not going to tell you that.
I could try.
I think somebody said to Bill Shankly one day, he said, what's the team this week, boss? He said, same team as last year. Yeah, that's not a bad team, is it, that one, yeah? Same team as last year.
And Amanda Dobra has signed a contract this
Yeah.
week, another promising youngster.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, there's again 18-year-old kids who are I think have got a chance, but have to have a pathway somewhere. I think it's important. He's trained with us, Dobra, a couple of times, and he's done well. But he needs time to develop. They need time and patience and strategy to get them to play. And but when they've come up, trained with the first team, they haven't disappointed. They haven't done anything like that. Sometimes you throw a young player in, they tend to swim quite quick with it. And I think him and Idris and people like that have come up. Corey's done well when he's come up. So there is a nucleus of young ones there, but in this moment, it's a little bit too soon for him.
And Dylan Crowe, I mean, he's obviously played for England youth teams. I don't think he's not signed a contract yet. What is the situation with him?
See, it doesn't matter if you played with England or not. Youth team it doesn't matter. That's no a major claim to fame. If you use that for your fame, then my God, you're in trouble because you've got miles and miles to go. And I think that's important for any young player. I don't think just because you train with the first team or you play in a youth level game, it's no professional football yet. Get in the first team and play all the games, then it becomes reality. So don't buy into this stuff of the youth player, national team youth player. Potentially, definitely things are there, but you're never going to really achieve anything with potential. You have to produce, and I think that's important. That I don't want young kids to get big-headed or the nose goes in the air and think, do you know what, I've arrived. You've not arrived until you play 10, 15 years in a game. Then you think, okay, I've had a decent career. But I don't want that, and I don't want that culture in the club. Because you're a youth player or you're training with the first and you think you're a player. You're not.
So has he been offered contracts? There's been a lot of talk.
They're talking. I think the club's talking with him and these other people. As I say, sometimes agents think players are better than what they really are. Or tell them what they want to hear. But I've no let. As long as I'm here, I don't want a culture where people think young players have arrived without earning the right. That's one thing I'll no put away.
That's the kind of thing Nick used to say about academies. There was a criticism he made as well. Is that a fairly widespread criticism that players are kind of told that they've made it before they have really?
Yeah, but probably people that don't know as much goes on in the real football world. Mick's right, 100% right. I don't want kids to walk about in here and drive fancy cars in here and and not done anything to earn it. It's actually performing week in, week out, and keeping their feet on the ground, being respectful and doing the right things, living the right way. I don't want kids to be seen doing silly things outside and, as I said, fancy cars, and it's no healthy for them. It's no good upbringing. And their job is to try and keep them on the pathway where they think, yeah, he's going to be a good player, and try and develop him in the right way. I think that's important for me, to try and develop them in the right way, and try and keep their feet firmly on the ground.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, see you later on. See you later.